Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you are all having a great day. To start things off, Coinbase has just announced that trading of the basic attention token is soon to be enabled on the Coinbase Pro platform, and deposits of the token are now being accepted. Trading in the token, which runs on Ethereum, will actually begin after a market begins to formulate, they said in the announcement. Once sufficient liquidity is established, trading of the BAT/USDC order book will start. BAT trading will be accessible for users in most jurisdictions, but will not initially be available for residents of the state of New York. As we've seen many times before, they keep excluding New York. Trading is apparently not going to be allowed to residents of New York, likely due to regulatory concerns. Users will be able to bring their own BAT, as purchase of the token is not currently available on the regular Coinbase.com. The price of BAT was around 25 cents as of yesterday, but on today's news, it has gone up by a nickel, better than nothing. It is not difficult to speculate that the increased exposure through the Coinbase Pro platform will continue that incline, and BAT could see new highs above its all-time high of more than 60 cents per token. So it's still up. Typically, in the past when we've seen other platforms adding other coins, there's been like a dramatic spike down in price, if you will. I'm going to actually try and see if I can narrow this down a tiny bit so you're not looking at the entire thing. Give that a second to load. Yeah, so there's still a bit of optimism around it, if you will, somewhere around there. It's nice to, first of all, the thing that's happening right now is that everyone is relatively happy that Coinbase has finally decided to add another coin, especially out of the other 5 that they were talking about potentially adding before. They've added 2 of them. They've added 0x, they've added BAT, and now everyone's speculating what could be the next coin that they're going to add. And a lot of people are asking or saying that they could potentially be adding Stellar Lumens, because it looks like what Coinbase is doing, this is their words, not mine, not Coinbase's words, but the crypto universe, is that as they added, they added 0x, they added BAT, and these are coins that are known, but not as well known as the other 3, which are Zcash, Stellar Lumens, and Cardano. And people are kind of speculating that they're going for the least well-known in comparison to something else, which is kind of weird because Stellar Lumens is, I'm pretty sure, a lot older than Cardano and more well-known in the cryptocurrency community. Who knows exactly what they're planning on doing, if they're even planning on adding the other 3 cryptocurrencies as well to their platform. One can only assume that they're definitely going to do it. I assume that they're trying to draw it out to make it seem like it's, not that it's more important, but like they're doing more than they're actually doing. At least over the last couple of days, we also had news that Coinbase plans on adding, they said, anywhere between 200 to 300 coins quickly. And then they noted that a large number of, they also said that they want to add thousands at some point as well. But they said that the 200 to 300 that they do add will probably be available in other jurisdictions and other places and other countries that they are currently trying to set up shop in. But a lot of them will be excluded from the United States. So my assumption from all of this is that once they have finally gotten to it and put on Stellar and Cardano and Zcash, which is going to be very great days for like 3 relatively, well, Cardano's still kind of like the new kid on the block, but it'll be nice to have it on a major platform. And then once that happens, this is when I assume in the early 2019 when they're going to start announcing their major listings, like the bulk listings and stuff like that, because I think they are tired of listing things, the prices like shooting up, and then 4 days later there's always one person who accuses Coinbase of insider trading. Whether I doubt at this point that they're even trying to do anything insider tradery, especially if you look at their not their they're not leaderboard, but the people who are like backing them and stuff like that, and the people who are making sure that they are legally compliant within the state of New York and the rest of the United States. They know exactly like when to launch things, how to launch things, and at what speed, and when to do it, and at what time, and how to announce things. This is why it's being launched on Coinbase Pro as opposed to the normal Coinbase. They try to like ease it in just to try and make sure that they don't have all this insider trading stuff, because when you're a company that's valued at multiple $1 billion, that's the last thing that you want is some type of an accusation, especially. So anyway, point is, they finally listed BAT, finally, and I will assume the next 3 weeks is when we'll probably get news of what the next coin is going to be. I personally think it could be Cardano, simply because I think Cardano is not less well known than Stellar, but if you've been into crypto for the last 2 or 3 years, you know Stellar more than you know the name Cardano, even though they are, at least at this point, equally kind of almost as popular. But they'll add them at some point. At least this is what I assume. So let's move on. Next up, Ukraine is in the news. In an official statement, the Ukrainian government confirmed its plans to establish regulatory framework to legalize crypto in the region. As part of an initiative to consider and acknowledge cryptocurrency as an emerging technology, the Economic Development and Trade Ministry in Ukraine released a new state policy to oversee various cryptocurrency-related sectors, which will be put into a full effect by the end of 2021. Throughout 2018 and 2019, the government of Ukraine will integrate regulatory frameworks to strictly govern the local cryptocurrency exchange market. Crypto trading platforms will be required to implement a KYC, or Know Your Customer, and AML, and anti-money laundering systems to help local authorities monitor the market. By 2020, the government plans to delve into the cryptocurrency mining industry, smart contract protocols, and taxation as the second part of the initiative to recognize cryptocurrencies as an asset class and an established industry. It's nice to hear from a country that they are giving proper time frames for things, even though some of it may take until 2020. That's totally fine. I am not one for hyper regulation in the first place, but it's nice to at least have some type of a framework or a time that you can have in your head if you are part of the cryptocurrency industry in the Ukraine, to be able to say, okay, that's great. We have about another year and a half to worry about the government not slamming down on us, but giving us the regulatory so-and-so. What's interesting about all of this is that the last couple of weeks, we've had a couple of people who have been coming forward. I don't know if it's just them trying to, I don't think they would be trying to spook the market, or what the overall really plan is, if you will. They've been talking about in the United States that they think that the people who give the regulations will not give any type of regulations anytime soon. There's an article I was reading where they said that they think that the SEC will never give proper clarification for all coins. Like they have announced in the past that some of their members think that all coins that have been released pretty much since the end, or rather the mid 2017, that had to do with an ICO is a security. The other coins, maybe about 15, 25 other coins themselves, that the SEC will probably not give any type of what this is, what that does, how this is, what that works, how we see this, how we want to tax this. And also, like, as far as like everything that has to do with regulation, people are saying now, coming out of the woodworks, and they're relatively prominent people. Like, these aren't like random people who are posting on Twitter. These are like people who are like economists, or people who have been inside of the cryptocurrency industry for at least 2 or 3 years and have a well enough gauge as to where the market could be going, or what's happening in the market, or regulations and stuff like that. And a lot of them think that the U.S. is probably not going to get to it for quite a bit of time. No one knows exactly how that's going to actually affect the overall market. As right now, the market appears, or the rumor is that the market is waiting for the release of an ETF, which also people saying is probably never going to happen, for at least for the next couple of years. But it's nice to hear that at least some other countries. Remember, I was expressing my frustration before when I said I think it was kind of annoying that so many other countries were waiting for the United States to give their proper framework and talk about anything. But it's nice to, what have you, especially with the KYC and AML laws. Pay attention, because these are only following the cryptocurrency exchanges, as more or less, and I say more or less because these things can be tracked. Governments seem to right now only care about the exchanges as they are like a money transfer service within their country. And if you are a money transfer service, you typically have to fall under government rule. But as far like this is what they seem to just be really caring about is cryptocurrency exchanges, and sometimes ICOs. But a lot of countries don't really like countries care about ICOs, but they don't think it's that big of a deal that they need to kind of like hammer down on the entire thing. So a lot of countries, what they really care about is just crypto exchanges, and they have none of them, for the most part, unless they've completely made crypto illegal, have come forward stating that there needs to be some type of a what's it called? That they need to know exactly what you're doing with your crypto. Like, if you're sending it to someone else, this is typically, depending on where you are, okay. But they seem to just be trying to get a hold of cryptocurrency exchanges, and this is why we've seen a number of cryptocurrency exchanges leave certain countries and move elsewhere. Quite interesting. Alrighty, let's move on. Next up, Kik is in the news. The number of mobile apps built around Kin, the cryptocurrency created and launched by mobile messaging app known as Kik, is now growing. As of this writing, 10 are already out, and more will be available at the Google Play Store and the iOS stores as they move to approve them. All told, more than 30 apps are expected to debut in the coming weeks. A quick summary. Kin was created by the Canadian messaging app known as Kik. To help bootstrap the project, they raised $98 million in one of 2017's biggest ICOs, and this summer it announced it would support teams that are building apps that are designed to enable users to use and earn its tokens. They said we're trying to build an ecosystem where you can earn Kin in one application and spend it in another. This was said by Ayelet Laub, a product manager working on the Kin ecosystem. Lots of the apps coming out in the classic categories with which mobile users will be most familiar. And while these offer the advantages of familiarity, it carries a disadvantage of having to compete in a market crowded by big incumbents. I'll get to that in like 1 second. You'll kind of understand. Fortunately, these apps don't have to compete solely on cool factor and user experience like most others do, as the new Kin-enabled app pays users directly for their participation. Put another way, think of Kin as the means by which users are incentivized to fire up the apps and participate. The following apps are currently live on Google Play. Side note, this is not paid advertisement. I just pay attention to the entire Kik/Kin project because I think it is one of the most interesting ones that we have out there. A lot of the other ICOs that have been launching over the last year and a half, they constantly keep talking about they are a smart contract platform. They are we're quicker than Bitcoin. We're better than Bitcoin. We have less coins than Bitcoin. We can do this. We do what XRP can. We're faster than Litecoin. We're 10 times quicker than Lightning Network. It's been all about the speed and usability that we already have in many other coins. And this one and a sprinkle of other projects are the only ones that have really come forward talking about that they have built trying to build an entire ecosystem around the actual use of their token that is not just reliant on people adopting their network, which is it's fascinating when you think that so many other projects and ICOs have gotten millions of dollars worth of funding when you read their websites and all they do is just boast about how much quicker they are and how they're going to be adopted more than Bitcoin. Of course, they have nothing to back this up, and this is why we have 90% of ICOs that have completely disappeared. So the following apps are currently live on Google Play. They are Revealed. I'll go over half of it in a second. Revealed, Kingwist, Nearby, Go Challenge Me, Add Me, Find, Vent, Kenny, Kinny. And 2 apps are also available so far on iOS. They are Blast Chat and Pause 4. I have myself already downloaded Kingwist. It looks like it's in beta in like. I thought the point of it was to learn extra languages because I like learning languages, but it seems like you have to build it yourself, as in like you have to build how you want to learn yourself. It's very interesting. I have to still kind of go through it. I also tried to download Nearby, which is difficult because it's just a simple name and it's difficult to find the actual app. GoChallengeMe.me. I think I downloaded that. I couldn't find Add Me because when you type in Add Me, you get thousands of other apps also that have something similar to Add Me. I couldn't find, ironically enough, because once again, it's a single word. Like if it had been like Find Kin or Kin Find or something like that, it would have been a lot easier to find. I found Vent. I think I might have downloaded it. I'm not really sure. I downloaded Kenny for social tipping, and I downloaded I think Blast Chat and Pause 4. And one of them, I can't remember exactly which one that it was. I know you get paid. Oh gosh, I think you get paid on all of them with the Kin token. But there was one that is specifically for like questions or something like that, or like where you get asked surveys and other things like that. And you get paid in Kin. At the moment, I mean, Kin isn't the most expensive coin in the entire world. I think I've completely won 151 Kin. But it's incredibly smart what they're doing. I can only assume that the 98 million that they raised for their ICO as a major company, as Kik is a major company, that they probably don't need the entirety of the 98 million. So I'm going to assume that a large part of it is also going to be used to continue to make their other apps. I mean, if nothing else, It's literally an app that you can download on your phone or on your tablet, or apps in general, especially if there are 10 already out and there's supposed to be 30 total within the next couple of weeks. If you're doing nothing else, you can earn cryptocurrencies as you're on the train or on the bus. Like I said, once again, this is not paid advertisement. I think it's just probably one of the most fascinating projects that we actually have out there right now. And a lot of people really aren't paying attention to it, I guess, because everyone is kind of focused on some of the other major coins and just waiting for the market to move in general. But try to like count on your hand. You probably won't be able to. At least 4 or 5 other apps that are doing the exact same thing that Kick is doing, or rather what they're trying to do with their token. Like, not many other cryptocurrency projects have made an initiative for 30 other apps to be built on top of their platform that are going to exclusively use their cryptocurrency. And especially if it's, let's say, out of 30 that we have right now, if 5 or 4 of these end up taking off and multiple people around the world are using them as a daily thing. If you look at some of the, when you can find these, you see that some of these have like 500,000 downloads already. It's actually quite interesting. So I can assume that some of these are probably going to take off. And I wonder what the overall, what this will do for the overall marketplace of Kin, and what type of volume this will cause. Because I think one of these as well is like a social media somewhere around here. And I was clicking through it, and it seems like you are able to, chat with your friends and stuff like that and send them money back and forth. And I think, don't quote me on this, that you can like post videos and stuff like that, and people can pay you for the videos, or if they like your content and stuff like that. It's all very interesting, and I can only assume that one of these is probably going to take off. Didn't mean to spend too much time on this one thing, but I really find the entire project really fascinating. And let's move on. Yeah, so yet another stablecoin has been launched. This time from a blockchain startup founded with the explicit aim of taking on the controversial but dominant cryptocurrency or crypto stablecoin known as Tether. Stably announced on Thursday that its stable USD or USDS is now available for purchase and redemption. The token is backed by US dollars held in escrow in Prime Trust, a regulated trust company in Nevada that has carved out a niche, playing the support role in a number of stablecoin projects. Perhaps most notably, Stably confirmed in a blog post that it would be transparent about its fiat holdings, saying, Stably recognizes that a fiat-backed stablecoin requires a high standard of public transparency for consumers and businesses that build trust. Users of Stably future platform will be able to view our fiat reserves balances in real time via a live feed from Prime Trust API. I assume it won't be like a photo of, imagine if it was a photo or like a live stream of like a bank vault, and you can see every time somebody walks in and like picks up $1 and puts it. Anyway, one can only assume that this will be like a screen somewhere on the website where you can kind of click through it and you can see like the real-time dollar amount as money is being added from other people who are funding the project. Accounting firm Cohen & Co. will also conduct weekly attestations for our fiat reserve. The post continued. The launch comes after the market's leading stablecoin known as USDT has come under fire due to concerns that it is not fully backed by fiat. The company behind it, Tether Limited, has long maintained that USDT is fully collateralized, one for one, and has been unable to get an audit to put the doubts to rest. The token loss is so yeah, we saw in the last couple of weeks. Tether had lost its parity to the 1-to-1 to the US dollar. And yesterday, the Tether team sent out a statement or like a piece of paper or something like that where they were talking about that they are fully backed. I think they have a new bank that's in the Bahamas. Pretty much like, how dare you doubt that we are real, even though they've burned $1 billion in the last like 4 weeks. So something's afoot. But as of now, this is like number 39 or something like that of stablecoins that we have out there. It's really interesting as well that there's a huge initiative. I don't know if you've been paying attention, but I definitely have. There's a major initiative right now floating around where people are just creating stablecoins against the US dollar. Like, I think we have one for the euro. I think there's one for the Australian dollar. I think there's one for the Chinese yuan, which is also quite interesting because China has banned cryptocurrencies. There's one for the Japanese yen. And I think there's one for South America. Don't quote me on that. But we have like 400 stablecoins that are launching specifically for the United States. I think we get it already. Like, we don't really need any more stablecoins. But there was an article, and I'm going to see if I can find it and put it in like another video, where they were talking about that they think that Bitcoin and stablecoins will be like the future of finance or something like that. And it was tying into what I said before, and I thought it was really interesting that we had so many stablecoins that were launching. They were saying that they think that Bitcoin could be the digital internet money standard, and then we would simply be transacting in stable coins for the rest of our lives. And I was like, that sounds horrible, but at least Bitcoin got in the mix in some way. Alrighty, let's move on. Last up, Bitcoin Cash is in the news. Investors and the community members of the Bitcoin Cash project and cryptocurrency have some good news to look forward to, as Binance has announced that its platform will be supporting the upcoming hard fork. In the announcement less than a few hours ago, the exchange notified its users that Bitcoin Cash deposits and withdrawals will be suspended a few minutes prior to 4 p.m. time of the hard fork on the 15th of November. The announcement went on giving the following exact details. They said, Binance would like to confirm support for the upcoming Bitcoin Cash hard fork. They'll take a snapshot. Deposits and withdrawals of Bitcoin Cash will be suspended on the 15th of November. Please leave sufficient time for deposits to be processed in full prior to this time. We will handle all technical requirements. We will make a separate announcement about the snapshot. And yeah, that was it. What is usually the norm after hard fork is that the owners of the digital asset end up owning new coins belonging to the new blockchain ledger. In the case of Bitcoin Cash, there are 2 upgrades, and owners of the coin during the snapshot will get new coins in the ratio of 1-to-1. So for every 1 Bitcoin Cash that you own, you will receive 1 new Bitcoin Cash fork cash. The thought of such a possibility and Binance announcing support for the upgrade has caused the price of Bitcoin Cash to spike. A chart has shown or previously provided for a better vision. Okay, that's not really that important. So this has been floating around for quite some time. I didn't really mention it at all. You might have noticed over the last couple of weeks, simply because it's like what I gathered from the information about what was happening is that Bitcoin, number one coin, was initially forked into Bitcoin Cash because of disagreements within the Bitcoin community as to what the true vision of Satoshi was. There's a podcast I was listening to yesterday as I was going to, you have no reason to hear what I was going to do. And it was pretty much Charlie Lee was talking about that he thinks that what's happening in the cryptocurrency community right now is almost mind-boggling. He can't really understand what's happening simply because a lot of people have made the Bitcoin white paper into almost like a Bible, wherein people are scouring through it, trying to figure out the true vision of Satoshi. And he said this is why Bitcoin Cash was created. We kind of all know that because the people inside of the Bitcoin community said that they believed that Satoshi's idea of what the future of Bitcoin should be would be truly reflected in Bitcoin Cash, and therefore Bitcoin Cash was created. And now there seems to be some type of thing happening the exact same way inside of the Bitcoin Cash world, where new members or older members believe that something is wrong with Bitcoin Cash and it should be forked and created into a new coin, and this is going to be the true vision of Satoshi. Part of the problem is that we have about 15 people in the cryptocurrency space who all say that they are Satoshi Nakamoto, as in one person, when it's highly believed that Satoshi Nakamoto is actually a group of multiple people who led the effort to create Bitcoin. And a part of this as well, we have a number of people who are talking about that not only are they Satoshi, or some people also say that they do know Satoshi as well, that they're still in contact with him every single day, and he tells them what they should do and how they should create a new coin. And this is why we have about 70 different Bitcoin hard forks, or new coins that have been created from the Bitcoin code, because everyone says that they know Satoshi and they are following his law. And this is why Charlie Lee said, he's like, yeah, people need to kind of go outside and get some air, because he's like, I'm pretty sure no one's in contact with Satoshi, and I don't think Satoshi would have told people to create 70 other different Bitcoin forks. Is my personal opinion. A lot of them are probably just cash grabs, but at the moment, Bitcoin Cash is still up in value. It's really interesting to even see like where Bitcoin Cash was before. This is around the time, if I'm not mistaken, where Coinbase, I think, had added them to their platform. And it's around that price right there that Coinbase kind of completely collapsed. For those who are around, Coinbase had an issue last year where they were trying to add new coins, and they decided that after being threatened to be sued, they decided to add other forked coins that they had in their possession. So they had Ethereum Classic, and this is why it wasn't a big deal for me when they decided to add Ethereum Classic to the platform, but they also had Bitcoin Cash. They decided that they were going to add Bitcoin Cash. It was like the 4th coin that they had ever had on their platform, and prices went completely insane from like 300 in October to over 4,000 by the end of December. Their platform couldn't take it. Everything completely fell down. I think there were also certain places that were showing Bitcoin Cash's prices like $10,000 because of the spike, and like other markets couldn't really keep up. The point is the price is up. We'll see exactly if the price ends up staying up. That's simply because typically we've seen in the past whenever a coin has a bit of all coins, many coins have a spike up when there's going to be a hard fork, simply because people are trying to buy as much of this as they can so they can get that one-to-one that's going to happen when the other fork happens. No word yet as to what the other coin is going to be called. I haven't dug too deep into it, simply because I think forking a fork is a little insane. I wonder what could have changed in the Bitcoin Cash community or idea that would make them want to fork again. And I can wholeheartedly assure you, by the middle of 2019, end of 2019, there's either going to be another fork of Bitcoin Cash, or there's going to be a fork of that fork of the fork. It's definitely going to happen. So not too much crazy news. It's still some pretty good stuff. It's nice to hear that crypto is still moving, that countries are starting to fully recognize and legalize us to, because we are not those, delinquents who we were many moons ago when it came to Mt. Gox and what's it called? The other illegal platform. Can't remember the name of it right now. Hope you all are having a great day, morning, afternoon, and or evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I hope it's absolutely fantastic. Make sure you enjoy your weekend. Go out, see a movie, go hang out with your friends, do something nice, go enjoy the weather. If you have nice weather, it's cold over here, but still go out for a little walk and walk your dog or just do something fun. Thank you once again, and I'll talk to you all soon. See you.